We just got some new Grand Theft Auto 6 details from one of the most reliable sources in the business. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. And it actually reveals something very, very interesting about the game. So our reliable source today is Jason Schreier. And not only has he had correct GTA 6 information in the past, he's been able to corroborate other GTA 6 details. He used to be a writer for Kotaku. He has multiple books out. He now writes for Bloomberg. So this guy is very legit. His information correct 99.9% of the time. And he ended up giving us some Grand Theft Auto 6 details on social media and on Reddit. So let's actually start on Twitter. And it actually goes back to a comment that was made a couple of months ago on May 18th by user Ben or Videotech, who said, "Hi, Jason. I hope you're doing well. I apologize if I'm wasting your time, but I was wondering if you know any idea why Red Dead Online has essentially been disregarded. The community have been looking for answers for nearly a year, but Rockstar isn't saying anything. Them saying I can ask around, Ben saying thanks so much, Jason, I appreciate your work, and then getting back to him just recently saying Rockstar made it pretty clear this week, but what I've heard is that most of the Red Dead Online designers have either left or moved to GTA 6 over the past 2 years." So before we talk about that, remember what Rockstar said on their newswire, where they basically said they're going to be changing how they support Red Dead Online so that they can move development resources towards Grand Theft Auto 6. So basically what they said is they're going to continue to do monthly events and they're going to add minor stuff to the game like Telegram missions rather than delivering major themed content updates like in previous years. And that is exactly what Jason Schreier said there. He basically said that anyone that was working on Red Dead Online over the last 2 years has either left the company or has moved over to GTA 6. Now, I don't know why someone who was specifically working on Red Dead Online might have left. I mean, there's obviously plenty of reasons, lots of frustrations or just lifestyle changes. But you would imagine if someone's talented enough to work on Red Dead Online and they have the artwork and they have the video game creativity skills, they can very easily be moved over to a project like GTA 6. And it looks like that is exactly what has happened, especially over the last 2 years. And that would definitely explain why over the first 2 years of Red Dead Online's life cycle, so think 2018 to 2020, the game was getting a lot of updates, almost at the same rate as GTA Online. And then from 2020 to 2022, there hasn't been that many significant updates. There's only been a couple of minor changes. There might have been one big content expansion, but that's it. And other than that, it's really been Rockstar just doing those monthly events and various seasonal stuff, which is kind of what it sounds like they're going to continue to do going forward. So again, bad news for Red Dead Online, good news for GTA 6 in that Rockstar is pushing a lot of their resources towards that game. Now, speaking of that, fans have been very anxious to know what this game is actually going to be like. And really, since Grand Theft Auto 5 has come out, players have been wondering what GTA 6 is going to be. And there's been thousands, if not tens of thousands, of leaks and rumors that have been put out there. Some have gained a lot more traction than others. And one in particular actually gathered the response from Jason Schreier. So the leak was actually removed, although it is very ridiculous. It's like a long list of various things that the game was supposed to have. Because a lot of people were saying that this one individual was true about new info on the next GTA and GTA Online DLC. And so Jason Schreier ended up responding to this comment on Reddit, and he said that document is fan fiction. So this is actually a pretty good rule of thumb. Anytime you see a leak that outlines like so many wish lists or so many things in the game, it's probably not true. Most of the time, a leak is either going to be a screenshot or it's going to be one snippet about something, like maybe returning to a certain city or what the theme of the game is going to be about. But when it kind of outlines the whole story and you're going to be able to drive this car and you're going to be able to do that with that character, that seems like a lot of information for one person to know. And in this instance, that leak, which I'm sure you guys might have been familiar with, Jason Schreier actually confirms that it is fan fiction and that it is not real. Now, the information gets even juicier because a lot more people were asking him about this information, with someone saying, sorry to sound rude, but how so? Or perhaps you have some real insider knowledge on the game as well, thus the reason you confirm her leaks is fake, and if so, do you mind telling us? And he said, well, for starters, nobody has access to as much detailed information as what's been posted by this Reddit user. Number two, the game is in development, and many details are still in flux or not yet decided. And number three, they even got the number of protagonists wrong. LOL. So let's go ahead with those 3 points. The first one, it's kind of what I've been saying. No user or no individual is going to have as much access to that detailed information. I think only like the top level people at Rockstar would probably know what's going on. I mean, let's just think, for example, if you're like a vehicle artist and all your job is to design vehicles, you're not going to have an idea of what the story is. Or let's just say you're an animator. You're not going to have an idea of what the story is. So it's really only going to be able to be pieced together by a few number of people at Rockstar. And someone like that wouldn't be able to do it. The game, number two, is in development, obviously, as we know, and many details are still in flux or not decided yet. We saw this with GTA 5, the names of characters. Remember, Michael DeSantis' name was originally going to be Albert. I know that's not a huge change, but also things like Lamar being one of the playable characters. We know that never ended up happening, at least in the story mode. So there's a lot of details that are going to be continuously changing. And number three, they even got the number of protagonists wrong. And this asked another person to see if Jason Schreier could go into more details, with them saying, can you elaborate on how they got the number of protagonists wrong? I'd be interested to know. Thanks. And he says GTA 6 does not have 3 protagonists. That's all I'll say for now. Wow, wow, wow. So GTA 6 is not going to have the same number of protagonists. This is kind of our big, juicy, confirmed information here as Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, what does that mean? Are we going back to a single protagonist like Grand Theft Auto 4? Although that game and Red Dead Redemption 2, although you can only play as one character at a time, you do get the ability to play as other characters like Luis Lopez and Johnny Klebitz in Grand Theft Auto 4, Arthur Morgan, John Marston in Red Dead Redemption 2. Even in Red Dead Redemption, it kind of followed the same pattern. You got to play as John Marston and then his son, Jack Marston. So is it going to be something like that? I can't imagine Rockstar goes beyond that amount, having more than 3 protagonists. I feel like that was complicated enough as it is with Grand Theft Auto 5. But I think that's going to be the big question on where we leave everything off today. How many protagonists do you think Grand Theft Auto 6 has? If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say it's going to function probably like either Grand Theft Auto 4 or Red Dead Redemption 2, where we get to play as one character and then move on to several others. That's going to be my guess, but you guys can let me know what you think in those comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.